I can call the police and have you escorted out.
You can call whoever you'd like.
The Florence Post Office. I need an officer, please. We have a very unruly person.
So here's the thing. As long as he's walking around filming, there's nothing we can do.
Call the department and get it yourself.
Call Supervisor, please.
Call the department, get it yourself.
Call Supervisor, please.
No, thank you. Have a good day.
The customer was like, "Hey, I didn't sign anything. I don't want to be recorded. Why is this guy recording me?" He was freaking out the customer.
She's in public.
Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another installment of Throwback Thursday. Today's audit takes place at the United States Post Office in Florence, Kentucky, where a postal employee was caught blatantly lying about me when unnecessarily calling 911, and the responding officers were completely exposed by their own body cameras. I have an update regarding my internal affairs complaint. Let's get into it.
Can I help you, sir?
No, thank you.
Can you put your camera down, please?
Why?
You're not allowed to film us.
I'm not allowed to film you?
No.
Even when you're talking to me?
Correct.
That doesn't make any sense.
Are you filming us right now?
Yeah, I am filming you right now.
I need to ask you to leave then, sir.
Why would that be?
Because it's a federal building. It's a federal offense to be filming federal employees.
It's a federal offense to film employees?
Yes.
First, I asked you to turn your phone down.
Even just the building.
Even just the building?
Yes, it's a federal building. It's run by federal laws. It's enforced.
And it's run by federal laws and enforced by federal laws? Which state that I can't film in the lobby?
You're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, you're not allowed to film in here.
I'm not allowed
This is a federal building. You are not allowed to film in here.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to calm down for a second.
But they come to me and they told me that
I get it, but
they've asked you not to do that.
I get it, but you gotta calm down. Who are you first?
You're not allowed to film in here.
Who are you first?
I'm the closing supervisor.
Closing
You're not allowed to
supervisor. And your name?
You're not allowed to film in here.
And
so
your
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
And your name?
I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Please put the phone down. Stop filming. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Can I get your name, sir?
So, I'm asking you to leave. Come on.
Roger. Come on. Sir, I'm asking you to leave. Sir, I'm an independent journalist, gathering content for a story.
I'm asking you to leave. You're not allowed to film in a federal building. Please
yes, I am.
walk out.
Yes, I am. What law is that? Can you show it to me?
Please walk out.
Can you show me the law that says that I can't film?
Sir, I can call the police and have you escorted out.
You can call whoever you'd like.
Boone County Dispatch.
Hi, I'm an employee at the Florence Post Office. I need an officer, please. We have a very unruly person. He's refusing to leave.
Okay. At which post office?
The Florence Post Office, the one at the corner of Turfway and Main Street.
Okay. Is he still in there?
Yes, he's arguing with the supervisor.
Okay.
We're trying to get him just out, and he will not leave.
All right. What's the description of him? What's he wearing?
He is wearing a gray sweatshirt and blue jeans. He has a hat on, black hair, approximately, I would say 5'11", 6 foot.
All right. I will get him on the way.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Bye.
You can call whoever you'd like.
I'm asking you to please walk out.
I have a right of freedom of press in this country. This is a public building. I know you want to. It's a federal public building.
Please walk out.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not breaking the.
Nicely.
I understand. Well, first, you didn't come up to me too nice.
Have asked you to not film in here.
Yeah. Why would that be?
You continue to do it because it's a federal building. You're not allowed to do that here at the post office.
Why? I'm just asking you why.
Please step out.
Why can't I film in here?
Come on, step out.
So you do realize that there's cameras in this building that is filming me, and I didn't give you permission, right? What's the difference?
I'm asking you to please step out.
Would you like to look at the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property, sir? Poster 7. You have it posted right outside.
I'm asking you to step out.
Would you like to look at the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property, sir?
So let me
be reasonable. I'm asking you to look at the rules governing the conduct on postal property.
I'm asking you to be reasonable, and I was asking.
Would you like to go look at the rules?
I was asking you. They were asking you to be reasonable.
But
also.
can you look at the rules?
You're not being reasonable with us.
I wasn't filming anybody until they started talking to me.
So I need you, and I'm asking you.
I'm asking you. Would you like to look at the rules and regulations?
I'm asking you to step out.
You have it posted right out here. Would you like to look at it? Would you like to look at it?
Would you like to look at it, sir? It's the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property.
I'm asking you to step
You're
out.
talking that it's a federal law that I can't film in a post office. But
I'm asking you to
I'm
step
trying to show you.
outside.
I'm trying to show you a federal law. That's what I'm trying to do.
So
You're making up a federal law. I'm trying to show you what the actual law is, sir. Be reasonable. It's
asking
posted
you
right out here.
to
Would you
step
like to go
outside.
look at it?
Yes, come on, walk with me.
Okay, let's go look at it. Come on. It's right over here. It's poster 7, rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property. If your postmaster is here, he would explain it to you. Your postmaster wouldn't be acting this way. So, right here, photographs for news, advertising, and or commercial purposes. Photographs for news purposes may be taken in the entrances, lobbies, and foyers and corridors of the post office, sir. This is a federal law.
Now you're telling me that you are an independent journalist.
That is correct.
Can I see your identification to prove that?
Well, everybody has. It wouldn't matter. I could make something up at UPS. I can make a business card at UPS. I am an independent journalist.
Okay.
We all have. You can be an independent journalist.
Thank you.
Again, would that be considered a lobby? I hope you learned something here today, sir.
I hope you did too.
I learned that I have permission and the right to film in here based on the federal law.
Look, I've asked you to step out.
I understand that even after I showed you the federal law.
I asked you to step out. If you have no business in here, if you're not mailing anything, then you don't need to be in here.
Who says I don't have business? I was looking at, what was I doing? I was looking at the cards where
You were
came in
filming
here.
everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. And I just showed you a federal law that says I'm permitted to do so.
Okay,
And yet you still want to go against federal law.
I'm just asking you, I've asked you to step out.
Why would you want to go against federal law?
okay.
You're a federal employee, correct? You're supposed to follow federal law.
Sir,
Sir, don't
I've
do
asked
that.
you to step out.
I understand. I
Just stop
I
filming.
understand what you're asking me, sir. But what I'm trying to tell you is, I just showed you a law that says I'm permitted to.
Excuse me. Come on, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me. What don't you understand about that? Why aren't you being reasonable?
I am being reasonable.
I just showed you the law. Can you show me the law that you said when you first came out it's against federal law, and your clerk said it's against federal law to film in a post office? Can you show me where it says that? Because I showed you the opposite.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop filming me.
Sir, I just told you that I can film in here.
No,
I
you
just
can
showed
film in
you.
here, but I'm asking you not to film me.
So go where you were, wherever
Thank
you were, go where you were, and I
I'm
won't.
telling you, you're not allowed in the building.
I am allowed in the building.
So
What do you
if
mean?
you don't have any
I'm allowed.
business
I have
in here right now,
First of all, I have business.
What do you need?
I have business. Number one.
What can I help you with?
Number two, I'm permitted to
What can I
film.
help you with?
I'm permitted to film in the post office. Did you not read it?
What can I help you with?
I wasn't making it up.
What can I help you with?
Sir, I would like to be left alone. I just would like to. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to go
I don't
back
wanna
and forth.
argue with you either.
None of this would be a big deal if you just stood in your office or wherever you were at. Your employees never made contact with me. No one would have had a problem. I would have filmed the post office, and we wouldn't have an issue. Is there a postmaster you can call so we can sort this out? Or
He's not here right now.
give him a call, because he will explain to you the rules and regulations like I just showed you. I'm not breaking any rules. I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. I'm not
I'm not
interfering.
yelling at you either.
You're interfering with business right now. That's what you're doing. I'm not. I'm not.
How you doing, buddy?
Hi, sir. I'm just trying to get some stamps here, and I'm also an independent journalist. I just spoke to your chief over at the police station.
Okay.
And he says he has no problem with me exercising my First Amendment right here. I tried to show this gentleman the rules and regulations governing conduct on this property.
Can we come over here and talk real quick?
Yeah,
Talk to
yeah.
yourself.
Sure.
I'm Officer Manley, by the way.
And your badge number, sir?
59.
59. Thank you, sir. So what he's reading right there is the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property.
Okay.
And I'm permitted to film in the lobbies, foyers. It says it right there. I'm an independent journalist. I'm gathering content for a story. Okay. Just like I was filming at the municipal building probably 10 minutes ago, and your police chief came out and said he has no problem with me filming. But now apparently there's an issue. He says there's a federal law against filming, but I showed him the actual federal law, and he's not understanding that I'm allowed to film.
Did you read something on the wall over there? Or is he reading something different than what you're reading?
No. He came out. Sir, he came out. First of all, I'm not filming anybody. I'm not like following anybody.
What is this for? Is it?
So it's for a story I'm working on the post office here. Just like I was working on a story at the municipal building.
Do you work for yourself?
I work for I'm an independent journalist.
Okay.
Correct. I am incorporated. I have a company, but I work for myself. And
what's the story about?
Just the town in general, the post offices, the government buildings.
Do you have an issue with them?
Do I have an issue with who?
Is that why you're filming? Is there an issue with the place? Or
no, there's no issue with this. Not yet. I mean, I don't want an issue with this town. I'm not from here. I'm just gathering content for my story on all the public buildings here, whether it be a post office, the municipal building where I was just at, anything of that nature. And I'm just filming, what I can see from public. One of his clerks came up to me and said, "You need to stop filming me." But I was only filming him after he's speaking to me. Like, if you were to speak to me and I turn the camera, because I'm filming where I'm seeing, and then he says, "You need to stop filming me, it's against federal law." I said, "You're incorrect, sir. I'm not trying to disturb any business or anything. I'm just filming in public."
My thing is there's nothing illegal about you filming. I'm just like, we can be anywhere and you can film.
To be honest, and I pointed that out, that there's cameras in this building. There's no difference, just because, why don't I have to sign a waiver every time I walk into this building? Because it's a public building, they're allowed to record just like I am.
Well, it's a public building to where you can...
You're recording in the building right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, my thing is I get you're doing a story. I get that. But they're conducting business.
And I'm not interfering with that. Like, I'm not.
And then you're not interfering with that, but this is their place of employment, and you gotta realize that. I'm sure you have a full-time job.
This is my full-time job.
Oh, okay. So okay, sorry. So I guess it's to a point to where if you want to film in here, that's fine. But when you go into a place and you don't have business to conduct, that's probably their issue.
But the business is. Can you come over here for a second?
Sure.
The business is filming, working on my story, and if you read right here, this is actually federal law. It's not just some poster. I know it looks like that, but it's actually attached. It's actually federal law. So this is the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property. And if you see here, photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, and foyers, corridors. Right here, sir. Photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, and foyers. That would be a lobby, and I'm allowed to take pictures in there. I just want to get a few more pictures. I'm not trying to be there all day. I got other things to do, but I don't like when people come up to me telling me, "You have to leave, you don't have the right to do it. It's against federal law," because it shows a lack of education on their part, because they should know their own rules and regulations.
Right. And to tell you the truth, this is the first time I've ever had to deal with someone.
And I understand, and that's why I'm not trying to escalate the situation.
Oh no, I mean you're being calm and collected.
Yeah, I'm not trying to, and I was trying to do that with them, but they were trying to escalate the situation, and I'm like, hey, just let's take a break, let's look at the rules, because I'm in compliance with the rules.
So photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums when used for public meetings, except where prohibited by official signs or
security personnel. That would be like a postal inspector, the postmaster, things of that nature. But again, I'm not disrupting any business. I'm not doing anything. It's for news purposes. There is no federal law prohibiting me to, and that's the problem, is that's what they think. They think that there's a federal law that prohibits me. I don't know where they get that in their head, but like I said, I just wanted to grab some pictures, and I'm not going to be here all day. Don't want to sit in a post office all day long. I just don't want my rights violated.
So what are you wanting pictures of?
The lobby. The lobby.
Have you already been
signs.
in there?
Yeah, but when I was filming, I told him, listen, he's like, you need to leave. And I said, can we look at this? And I showed him this, and then he kind of backed down a little bit, but he said...
here's the thing, you got what you came for, right?
No, I didn't, because I wasn't finished. I was interrupted. Okay. Rudely interrupted while I'm just trying to peacefully conduct my business.
Well, he's probably gonna, since he works here and, he's tried to escort you out of the lobby. Maybe leave for the day and contact his boss. Maybe, I mean, there's multiple.
I know, but why can't you just explain to him that I have a right to film in public, and then I can go about my business? Why do I have to make concessions when it comes to my First Amendment right? I have freedom of press in this country, just like everybody else.
But can I explain to him, is there something specific you want to video?
It's just the lobby. I'm not trying to film across the lobby.
But what for your story do you need?
Just everything. I was already in here, no issues, recorded in here, and now I just need to film in the lobby, and that's it. And just to prove to him that now I'm upset that he's trying to violate my rights. He's calling law enforcement on me, so that way
I'm
can
thinking
make a
he's
big
just calling
deal.
law enforcement because he didn't want it to get probably heated, or he didn't know your intentions.
I was talking to him just like I'm talking to you, and I said, sir, I'm an independent journalist. I showed him this. I don't know what else type of intentions. I'm not just saying, hey, leave me alone, or I'm cursing at him, I'm screaming, I'm acting irrational. I'm trying to explain to him, and I just want to conduct my business. So I really don't even want to be here all day. I'd rather just go conduct my business that I have to conduct, and I'll be gone because I have no other purpose here. But I'm not going to allow a federal.
So your purpose is to just show
news
people
gather
that the lobby.
Correct. News gathering, and it's also to educate the
People
purposes
on the lobby.
It's to educate people on our First Amendment rights.
Oh,
but
okay.
again,
See that? Okay, gotcha.
It's to educate people that, not only the people that watch my videos and not only the people that, consume my content, but also to the federal employees to say, hey, listen, you shouldn't treat people that way. You're a public servant. Just like I had a good conversation with your chief not 20 minutes ago, and he told me, hey, I'm a public servant. They're public servants. You're a public servant. You shouldn't be treating people that way. You should just respect their rights. And I had no issues. Your chief and I had a great conversation. So I had no issues whatsoever. So I would like to go back about my business.
Yeah,
if that's sir.
Give me just a second. Let me talk to him. See if I can calm him down.
Okay.
And then I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. All right.
Were you?
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay. I'll be right back. Just chill out for a second.
Yep.
And then,
Hi, officer.
if you would, just come talk to me real quick.
Can I just get your name and badge number before you go?
Officer Rochelle, 23.
23. Thank you.
What's your first name again? Sorry.
I don't want to give any private information while I'm here. I don't want to give any private information. I'm just an independent journalist.
So you'll ask for ours, but you can't give yours?
Why does it have to be a tit for tat? Again, you're the public servant. Your chief didn't say that to me. Come on. Your chief did a lot better than you.
I just want to be respectful.
I know, but your chief did a lot better than you. Your chief didn't even ask me my name. He knows. He knows better.
It's just a form of respect.
It's not about. But you're. No. It's not about. It's exactly. That's it. You didn't have to make it a big deal.
It's just a respect thing.
It's a respect thing to exercise my Fourth Amendment right. Interesting.
So here's the thing. He's doing the whole First Amendment. Well, they have rules, yeah. There is this thing in there with rules on it, and it says that and it does say for media purposes that people for media purposes can record in lobbies. Basically, lobbies, corridors, and hallways of places like this, and it says it word for word. I'm gonna give.
How can we confirm that he's a independent journalist?
I guess
we can't, right?
Yeah.
Someone's videoing us.
Yep, he's alive.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on?
We don't know. Just hang tight.
Just give us a couple minutes. We're trying to figure it all out. You have nothing to be worried about, though.
Yep.
Can you see if you can get a supervisor here?
Yeah,
One of these.
thought that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, can you just get a supervisor or something? I know somebody was supposed to come get one, but they're not out here yet. Were you able to find him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Post office. That I guess he just came from talking to Chief.
No, he was in our office recording at in the lot.
You talked to him back there.
Yep. Hello.
How you doing?
So, was there an altercation between you guys, or what was the deal?
No, my clerks come back and they were like, hey, he's out here filming. He was filming transactions and stuff. So, and I'm like, well, you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, he can film inside, but he can't film any kind of transactions or anything.
Okay.
So when I walked out, I said, sir, I can't have you in here filming.
Okay.
Because he's walking around and he's filming people standing at the counter and stuff like that. And I asked him to step out in the lobby.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to ask you to leave. And I kept asking him, like, well, I'm not leaving.
Right.
So, I'm like, sir, and he goes, well, I can show you over here where I'm allowed to film. Yes, you're allowed to film. But you can't film the clerks standing back there. You can't film any transactions, because if if you're standing there trying to do something and he's filming over your shoulder, get your PIN number. Anything like that.
Not arguing there.
So, and I'm like, sir, you can't do that. So then that's when they called you guys.
Okay. Who called us?
Tiffany did. Tiffany called from up front up here.
Okay. So he was already at our PD. He's wandering around trying to start a fight. Okay. Just my take on it. He was already at our police department.
He said something. He said, I've already talked to your chief, and I was like,
no, he wasn't. He didn't talk to the chief. He tried to bait the chief. The chief didn't fall for it, and he said, record wherever you want. He said, you walk around the whole building, that kind of thing. So we've been kind of given a heads up on him. So as long as we'll explain that to him. The less annoyed you act, the less reaction he'll get.
And then I asked him. I said, I'm asking you, because there was a customer up there that asked him she didn't want to be on film.
Right.
So that doesn't give him the right to film her.
Yes, he does. Not during her transaction. Not during her transaction. However, when she's in a public place, he has the right to film.
Okay.
Okay. That's anywhere.
Yeah.
If somebody, granted, if it turns to like voyeurism, you know what I mean, like a public restroom, filming in a public restroom is indecent. Yeah. However, if they're not recording the act of doing something, then we can't push it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a very gray area. So.
Yeah. And then I kept asking him. I'm like, I'm asking you to leave.
Right. So at this point, what we will do is we will inform him of that part.
Hey, just real quick, I got the phone with Lieutenant, and Chief was talking to him. So he's already been to our department.
That's what she was telling me.
So here's the thing. As long as he's walking around filming, there's nothing we can do. But when it comes to where he's starting to interfere with business.
That's what he was doing. That's what he was explaining. Is that he was coming up to the counter and recording transactions, recording type transactions. So as I was just explaining to him, look, as long as we'll just go out there, we'll explain that to him.
Because Chief and them are like, we can't make him do anything.
We can't. So, and what he was saying was the lady did not want to be recorded.
He's looking for our reaction. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, but I had explained to him, well, he said the lady didn't want to be recorded, and I said, well, she can be recorded, not during her transaction. So, he doesn't, it's a personal, not dealing with transactions.
Okay.
So, as long as he stays out of the camera field of the front.
And I'll explain that to him, but.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining to him, so. Yeah, we're going to see him all around town today.
131.
Sure.
Access property images for student interview.
Okay.
I
think she slid out on her.
Yeah, access person for you.
Hey.
Sorry, sir.
So basically, this was going on. He just came from the police department. He started recording. He walked around that whole place recording. Apparently, took his time. And from what he's telling me, he just wants to come in, record, which he has a lawful right to be here and record. Just apparently not your transactions. And as long as he doesn't interfere with your business, even though he's being the way that he's just wanting to get a reaction out of you all.
Yes, sir. And it was fine when he was doing, and it was when we had customers and were doing transactions that I said, you can't.
Right.
Because the customer that my coworker was working, she goes, I don't want him.
You don't have that choice.
It doesn't feel right, but we can't control that. So if he records, and everyone's like, "Why don't want to?" You know, people always have this thing. They're like, I didn't sign anything." Like, it doesn't matter.
You're in a public place.
You're in a public place.
Just as I was explaining to him, if you're in a public restroom, somebody is recording. I can't stop that. It's a public place. What I can stop is the voyeurism side of that, you know, where there's, you know, actually like getting into the cracks of the, you know what I mean, putting it under, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Will we still remove him because it's inappropriate? Will we do our best to that? But with this, we're not going to.
So hopefully, you know, he'll come in here, record what he needs to record, and I'll just explain to him that he can't record the transactions. Cannot record the transactions, but I'm sure he's going to walk around close to the walls. Like, he'll stand at a distance and record you all from a distance, but he just can't be up close and recording transactions. So
he could very easily make the screen bigger after he records. He can take a snapshot.
Here's the thing: if you
there's nothing we can do.
And here's the thing: if you have questions about that, I would immediately call and talk to a supervisor.
We'll get postal inspector.
Oh, absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would. But
So if
I'm just letting you.
leave, does he?
No, I mean, this is a
It's public.
public, and he can be here and record. But hopefully, our thing is to let him come in here and record, as long as he's not recording transactions, and let him be on his way. Because my thing is he's. I mean, he is wanting your reaction, and he's wanting to post this. So.
151.
Just I know it's.
Your rights are your rights. Period.
Yeah,
Regardless
but
of
people
how.
Oh, you're on a El Rio Grande on.
But listen, but we are going to tell him that as long as he's not up close recording the transactions, then he's allowed to be in this lobby and in the hallway recording the walls. I'm sure he's gonna want. I mean, he'll push buttons. But if you have an issue, call the postal inspector, call a supervisor. This is what I'm relaying to you. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
2 breaks every 3.
So they're the ones that called us. So we had to explain to them what's going on, and we'll let this person pass. He's trying to do business.
How you doing today?
So we told them, and you know, you're allowed to be in here. You're allowed to record, just like you were at the city building. But I mean, you can go in there and take your time. You can record whatever. But the one thing that we're asking you is you cannot record the transactions.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
Okay, so
I'm well aware of that.
and we had, you know.
I'm just glad that you made him aware that I'm allowed to record, because that's part of what I do. So that way,
So you can understand.
he understands.
We don't deal a lot with the federal side of things. So we don't have a lot of people just. Yeah, sure, you're fine.
Yeah, sure. No, I don't want to get anybody's way. But yeah, that's probably why they have the rules and regulations posted in every post office,
So my thing is
so everybody can see it and become familiar with
as
it.
long as you're respectful and you're not recording transactions,
Yeah.
don't go near the counter and start recording.
Their fear is you're zooming.
Because there
That's
is
their
a.
If I wanted to get transactions, let's be reasonable. If I wanted to get,
We're just expressing.
No.
to you
I'm
their
just
concern.
I'm just expressing to you. You know, my counter argument would be if I wanted to get transactions. You know, they have glasses that are cameras. You know, I could have come in here with a pen that's a camera.
That's the reason why we're called them. That's all.
Yeah. No, I understand.
We have to answer to. I mean, they are concerned. It's not every day they have someone coming in here.
But I explained to them what I was doing. I didn't just like be.
They don't, I mean,
You
they
look
don't
like
know.
an average Joe. You don't have journalism badge. You don't have. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but
so there's
it's a citizen journalist.
I
get it. But we're.
You have to understand.
But you
there
understand,
is a
right?
concern. You know, it's a valid concern.
Did you relieve them of their concerns?
You need to come right here.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
See, all this is making big deal out of nothing. So, did you alleviate him of his concerns?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
We're on the same page.
Great.
And just like I said, don't interfere with business.
All right. Okay. I don't need
Because
to hear
we're
it.
already kind of.
I don't need to hear it anymore. I know. Maybe if you guys leave and I go about my business, everybody can walk in the door perfectly fine. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
All right, you too.
Take care, guys.
Sean, is it?
I'm just standing.
Good luck to you.
I will see you, sir.
It may every day be beautiful.
So again, let's finish up here. Glad everybody was educated at the post office today. That really makes my day, because apparently they seem to think it's against federal law. I don't know where they get that from. Alright guys, so we'll get out of here now. Everybody has been promptly educated on our First Amendment rights. Another victory for we the people. I want to know how this officer knew my name was Sean. I'm all the way in Kentucky. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way they know who I am all the way out here. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how'd you know my name? That's pretty cool, man. How'd you know? Am I that famous?
You're not famous.
Am I that famous?
I don't know you.
You did know me. You said my name was Sean.
I don't know everything about you.
Oh, okay. You just know my name?
Okay.
Somehow?
You have anything you need to ask me?
Yeah. Can I get the CAD number for this call, please? Why won't you give me the CAD number?
Because I have to.
You don't have to?
No, you can call Supervisor and get it if you want.
Can you call Supervisor?
Nope.
You're here on a scene.
No, I don't have to call Supervisor.
That's your policy to call Supervisor.
No, if you need to call Supervisor, you can call the police department.
Listen, there's no need for you to act like that, all right? There's no need.
Okay.
Again, you should learn from your chief and learn a little bit of de-escalation and learn how to treat people.
Sean.
Great.
Sean, if you need to call Supervisor,
why don't you call one? That's your policy.
I don't have to call one.
That is your policy to call. When a member of the public asks to speak to a supervisor, you should call a supervisor. That's what you should do.
I'm not.
Why are you being difficult for it?
Well, I mean, why are you're at my cruiser.
Yeah, because you're a public servant and I'm asking you to serve me with the CAD number of this call.
Call the department and get it yourself.
Call Supervisor, please.
Call the department, get it yourself.
Call Supervisor, please.
No, thank you. Have a good day.
Call Supervisor, please.
All right. All right. Have a good day.
What a jerk. Wow. Just wanted the CAD number for which is basically like an incident number for those of you who don't know. Wow.
You there? Yeah. Just had to deal with him again in the parking lot. He was like, I need the CAD number and I want your supervisor now. And I was like, what's wrong? He was like, how do you know my name? I was like, I'm the police. And he was like, I need the CAD number and I want your supervisor now. You have to give it to me. I said, you're more than welcome to call the police department, but I'm not going to give it to you. He was like, you are a public servant. You need to give me that information right now. I said, no, I won't. So I rolled my window up and took off.
So what was the outcome as far as...
So...
Are they telling me he wasn't allowed to be there?
So they wanted him to not record the transactions, is what I got from them. They were like, hey, you know, they were like, the lady that was talking to us in the back room, because we went in the back room and talked to them, and he stayed out front. And he agreed to do that. And the guy was like, well, there was a lady in there, and she was like, a customer was like, hey, I didn't sign anything. I don't want to be recorded. Why is this guy recording me? He was freaking out, the customer.
She's in public. She's allowed.
And I explained that to them. I was like, ma'am, I was like, he can be in here recording. He can, and they were like, you could physically tell they were upset that he could be in there recording. I was like, here's the thing. I was like, just let him come in here and record. He can be in here in the lobby recording. But she was like, well, he can't record transactions. And I was like, I agree with you. He cannot be close enough to record the transactions. So I went out there and was respectful to him. I was like, listen, you can go in there and record as long as you want and what you want, but you can't record transactions. He was like, oh, yes, sir. I don't want to record transactions. If I was trying to do that, it was almost like, it was a backhand to him, like, oh, why would I be doing that? So as soon as, it wasn't a minute, I didn't even make it to my car, and he walked back out. So his intentions are to get a rise out of us.
Right.
So, I was cool, calm the whole time. I freaked out when Tara got there, because I didn't know she was going to come.
Oh, shit.
So Tara was already getting a little bit mouthy, and I was like, Tara, go talk to the manager. So Tara
surprisingly did all right. I told her to leave, and then I would stick around. So thank God she left. But he made.
You had your body cam going the whole time, right?
I did.
You did or didn't?
I did. I had it going.
Okay.
So, it pissed him off when I found out his name, because he wouldn't give me his name. And I was like, so, as I didn't catch your name, he was like, I don't have to give you that. I was like, man, I'm just trying to be respectful. And then you told me it was Sean while we were separated, and I came back out and we were like,
Alright, fellow Patriots, I wanted to highlight this audit because I recently was going through my internal affairs complaints and making follow-ups when I realized that this incident flew under the radar. I was never contacted by internal affairs at the Florence Police Department, hadn't received any correspondence from them whatsoever, so I called to follow up on my internal affairs complaint, and apparently it doesn't exist. Thank you all for giving me a platform where I can expose corruption and tyranny even when internal affairs officers want to do nothing. Looks like I'm going to have to take another trip back to Kentucky. Make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss it. Appreciate all of your support. Couldn't do this without you. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.